Well, I appreciate that. So I think that first bucket will definitely be, it might not get you in terms of the actual, so that first bucket is not a giant eyeballs bucket, but it's a very, very in-depth bucket that will actually be leads. Those will be people who are very interested. Now, if we want to kind of combo it and we want to kind of add to that, like a second bucket for you can be something that maybe is a little bit more viral to a degree. Hey, we can try to cast that big net. Hey, we can try to pull some people in, and then that's where, hey, we can look at what's the next step to, okay, how am I going to build trust? How am I want to reach with people? How do I want to connect? And that's where it's, well, you're already a barber. You're already in front of people in terms of talking to people, actually being outgoing, actually reaching out, doing the things that you need to do. So how do we express that with social media? How do we make that
Yeah.
stand out? And what little things can you add in to where it's just like, yes, I'm a realtor and I can help you, but there are other things that make you you that will stand out on social media because that's what matters. And so I guess this is the kind of hard, this is the really like the hard bucket to really figure out, because it takes a little bit of a decision to be like, okay, I'm gonna go this way rather than with some of these things. Like I'm gonna lean a little bit more into some of the barber and maybe jujitsu stuff, and I might leave this a little behind a little more. But again, this is more up to you and kind of what could be something that stands out and makes you you.
So I was told actually by my last videographer that helped me with this, property. And he said, he goes, I understand why you have your personal Instagram account and why you have like, because I have one for barbering and one for realtor. But he says that I need to incorporate. He's also at my jiu-jitsu gym. He was like, you should probably incorporate a few of your things that you do to basically show you as a person as far as like jiu-jitsu. So I was thinking I might, just to make it more like personable. I mean, I feel free to give me some advice on your thoughts on this. I might get some clips from the Kumite and I might like put them in the realtor Instagram instead of just posting it on my personal Instagram because it is who I am. And I mean, honestly, people have like, if you have one thing in common with someone else that they're super passionate about, they might just pick you just because of that. Like it's happened before where it's like, you know what, like it's really cool that you do jujitsu and that you have like that interest. I do it, so why not go to you that we have something in common? I mean, it is, it's part of networking. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to incorporate more of like personalized videos with that because yes, I am a realtor. Yes, I can do XYZ for you, but I also want to maybe perhaps push a little bit who I am just, to expand that. And then I guess it's almost really just showing my personality more. So
100%.
you think that's a good idea?
100%. And so the
Yeah.
only the only thing that I would say in terms of a slight guide for you, make it about, hey, I do jujitsu makes me a better realtor. I'm a better realtor because of jujitsu. Here are the three things that jujitsu has done to make me a better realtor. Like I think all of that, and just like putting a slight spin, just like talking about fun jujitsu stuff. Like, hey, I learned this new move in jujitsu this week, but here's how it makes sense as for me as a realtor. Like, hey, I started
Yeah.
in jujitsu because I'm a realtor. I'm a realtor and I've only gotten better because of what jujitsu has taught me. And these are those three things. Like all of that's kind of stuff. Like it comes down to switching around and being persuasive with the English language. It's like you can tell
Mhm.
someone something very direct, and some people just enjoy it, they like it. But this is where we tie the two together. It's like, okay, I'm a better realtor because of jujitsu, and what other ways can we switch the words around to make it make sense? So being a jujitsu player and a realtor, okay, what connecting pieces are there? Those are your videos. Hey, I have great discipline now. because of jujitsu, and that's how it's made me a better realtor. I now take care of my body better from jujitsu, and here's how it helps me with real estate. Real estate isn't the only thing I do. I'm also a jujitsu player, and here's how that works. Like, hey, a somewhat day in the life video could almost work, where it's just like, hey, here's me training, and then immediately showing a house right after. Or hey, when you, like, now you can be kind of like semi comical, and this is where you can kind of start to get some of the eyeballs to cast that net and pull people in terms of like what it looks like from a jujitsu's perspective for real estate. And it's just like you're in a house, and then you have like your gi on or something, and like you're in a house and you're like, when I've got a showing at 4, but I have class at 5 or something, or it's like, hey, I have a competition at 6, but I've got a showing at 5:45. Like there's little like comedic ways to kind of like weave things in that people will look and laugh, and oh, haha, I can relate. That's funny. That was good. That was catchy. I'm gonna send this to my buddy. He does jujitsu too. And the next, he's actually at, a dojo down the street, and then he's in need for a house. And then it's just like, oh, she's actually a realtor. Oh, I need that. So those do happen, but they're more of like a, let's get some eyeballs to try to bring some of those people in. But it's
Yeah.
just like, how can we connect the two together? And I think whether it be tips and tricks that like stand out, it's discipline, it's hard work, it's tenacity, just any kind of word like that people like, of oh yeah, this is why it's great motivation, it's great discipline. They're all kind of big words that don't really mean much, but people love them. The
But
same
they
goes
go
for,
hand in hand with
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's just, okay, which ones do you want to express, and which ones make the most sense, and then down the road as you do more of them, it's just like, okay, well, hey, this one popped, this one didn't. It's like, okay, do more of these, less of these. And that's kind of, again, back to the repetition thing that we talked about before. Now we just kind of see what the audience likes. But I think something to the degree of, having a fun comical video in there of, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
in my gi
I've thought of
showing a house, like, would be, I think that would be hilarious. Like, so many people would just be like, oh, I get that was pretty good. Okay, I'll give it to her. Like, and there's so many different ways you could do that. You hey, we were about to have a, this customer was, we were about to close on a house, and he tried backing out, so I put him in an arm bar. And then like you show like, hey, you actually put him in an arm bar, like if he wants to actually do the video with you or something. Like, you could make tons of these awesome, and people would be like, all right, that's pretty good. Like, dang, like, okay,
Yeah.
I get it. Like that was like that was clever. Like, hey, whoever thought you could get a client from choking them out? Ha ha ha! I do jujitsu. Like, I'm not just, some person terrorizing people on the street, or any fun way to kind of like include stuff, and like
No, I get
humor's
that.
a great way to bring them together. Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
So I guess
Is there anything else
personality is
that you
second
think that,
bucket.
that's a big bucket? I can fill that bucket up quick. Yeah.
And that's where it's okay. Well, we can do the same thing with being a barber. Hey, here's how I'm a barber and a realtor. Here's how they go hand in hand. Same thing. Hey,
Oh, well,
when you've got a cut
do
at
you
3, but you have an open, when you have a showing at 4, same thing. Apron on, clippers in hand, covered in hair. Like, that's
did
a,
you
a great video.
did you ever come across that barber page?
Oh, I haven't. No. Now I'm gonna go try to. I'm gonna go find it.
So there's a client. He's super cool. He only gets like the straight right, like he's bald,
Yeah.
but he gets like the straight razor shave with the
Okay.
hot towel and all that treatment. And so I was trying to just make a funny video, and it was like when your intrusive thoughts take over when it's not a good tipper. He's a good tipper. We just wanted to be funny, and so the song was creep.
Yeah.
Um, Anyways, I'll send it to you. And in like it was like intrusive thoughts. I'm like shaving his head, and then like he let me choke him out midway, but it wasn't like real. It was just my intrusive thoughts, and
Yeah.
he was just really funny. And I feel like that was kind of funny. I don't have a lot of following on there because I don't just like with Instagram. I'm sure you noticed like I don't really have a lot of following. So that's another thing I wanted to ask you. How do I get that? Because I
Time.
feel like
Time.
time. Okay. Yeah.
Because it happens. it happens very fast. It's
Yeah.
it's not exactly overnight, but essentially what happens is you go 90 days, and so that's kind of where I want to, like, that's why I want to get this initial, like, hey, 3 buckets, a bunch of topics underneath those buckets to start giving you the runway and platform to be able to produce a ton of content. Because if you have this
Mm-hmm.
excess amount of content that you're able to put out and you're actually able to post and you're able to see, you then start to pick up on what works and what doesn't. So the minute you start to get some traction of like, hey, this is working, this isn't working, then it gets really easy to tweak and change things where it's just like, okay, this video absolutely crushed. Why did it crush? What was the hook? What was the text? What was the song? What was the caption? What was the flow of the video? What was the topic of the video? Okay, who's the person that's watching this? Did it get a ton of shares? Why did it get a ton of shares? Like, you can start to look at all of these little different factors that, like, hey, does what time you post matter? Yes, but not really. Like, it starts to matter after you've posted for a long time, because if you post at the same time every single day and you're super consistent about it, then the people who are on the platform at that time start to expect to see you at these certain times. So maybe, hey, maybe 9:15 is great, or maybe 7:15 p.m. is great. Like, it's not necessarily that one is better than the other. It's just which one is better for your account based off of the results after you get 100 posts. The problem is social media is, because they're so quick and they're so, like, quick and little. Like, YouTube, hey, you make 25 long form YouTube videos, you get fairly good fairly quick because it's
Mm-hmm.
so long. There's so much that goes into it. With social media, I can say 100, but to a degree, if you make 100 videos and you make a slight tweak to all 100 of those videos, there's so many different things that you can tweak and change. You need another 100 videos to really be able to implement a lot of stuff. But all that happens is your floor just keeps raising. So it's like, okay, we're getting 120 views, we're getting 6 views. We're getting 130 views, we're getting 12 views. We're getting 150 views, we're getting 27 views. We're getting 170 views, we're getting 50 views. So, like, just the bad ones just, like, slowly keep rising to where there's just like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
now my worst video is 250 views, which is like what I never used to get to. And then 250 turns into, okay, now every post that I do gets at least 500 views. And then 2 weeks later, it's like, oh, now every single one of these posts is getting 1,000 views. Okay, now we're another 2 months out, and it's like, okay, now all these videos are getting 3,000 views. And it's not necessarily like, hey, in that time span, if you post 100 times, 200 times, 300 times, you can start to think about how many times. So, like, 3 times a day, every single day is 21 posts in a week. So you would be at 84 posts in the month. So realistically, if you were to do, hey, 100 videos that you make these tweaks and changes for, like, you realistically should see that growth in like every single month. So by the time you get to
Yeah.
the end of 90 days, okay, well, you've probably made somewhere between 200 to 300 videos. How much better are you going to be with every little thing? Sometimes it's just, hey, it takes me less time to make content. Now it takes me 10 minutes to record this video rather than an hour. So that whole 50 minutes, you get that back. And now your content continues still to work because your floor is raised, it's easier, things look more efficient, things look better. And then 6 months from now, it's like, well, yeah, now all of these videos have been going out, and now one pops and one does 125,000 views, and you go, whoa, okay, what happened? And then you can just completely analyze that video and throw a lot of other stuff out, because once you have one that just absolutely works and it absolutely crushes, now you have what you can repeat. In the beginning stages, yeah, you look at, hey, what are the 5 to 10 best of each 100? But
Mm-hmm.
even that, like, okay, what are the 5 to 10 best in 1,000? Guarantee you it's not the same as your 100. And so it's just about, hey, how many posts can we get out? How many posts can get better each time? But for this, it's like, you don't really need 1,000 people to come knocking on your door to sell a house for. It's like, if you had 6 people that you sold a house for as a result of, they showed up from social media, it's like, if you got a lead every other month, and even if, let's say, half of those leads close, it's like, okay, if you got 3 home sales from social media and said you did, one once a quarter,
Mm-hmm.
I think that would work, especially when you post for $0. Like, it doesn't cost you anything. So
Yeah.
if something completely flops, it's not like an ad that sucks where it's just like, oh man, like, I wasted so much time making that one ad and I put so much time into it and I did all this stuff. And then, I put the ad spend behind it and then I had a separate ad buyer and I had all this stuff. And it's just like, yeah, that's a $5,000 risk and decision that you just made.
Mhm.
Social media, it's just like, well, this video that took me 7 minutes to make didn't work. Ugh, there goes 7 minutes of my time. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
but for right now, we can kind of afford the hour a week, the 2 hours a week to put into making content and making sure that it works. You just need a plan. The problem is most people don't have a plan. So if you don't have a plan, you have no clue what you're going to post, and then it's, oh, I'm scrambling. Well, this didn't work, and I already don't even know what this, and I don't even know what I'm doing, and then you just get overwhelmed. Then you never press record. You never make the videos. So then you never actually grow. You never get better. You never learn. It's purely a volume game. Purely a volume game.
So my problem is because I have a lot of creative ideas is I don't post them because I don't know because I'm afraid it's going to come out crazy. But I think I'm just going to
Okay,
start posting.
real quick. Pause on that. What if it does suck?
I mean, if it does suck, it whatever. I didn't lose anything, right? Like you said. So
Okay, yeah. A post gets 4 views.
yeah,
And?
yeah. No, it's not so much the views. Well, I guess the views matter, but it's just like in my head, it might be really cool,
Oh,
and then I post. Yeah,
I have that all the time. And I feel that all the time. Which is why it's like, oh man, this video is going to do great. Man, this is a great idea. This is a great topic. This is
yeah.
hilarious. This one's going to crush. And then you post and it's just like, oh, well, that didn't work.
You know what? They just don't know your sense of humor.
And you just go, no, no, that one's supposed to work. That video is, and sometimes that video does work. Sometimes it's, hey, we just have to make a slight tweak to the text. Hey, we had to switch the first 3 seconds slightly. Okay, it needed a different caption. Okay, now it just needed to be posted at a different time when this different topic was on people's minds. Like, sometimes
Yeah.
that will make a video work, but at the same time, you don't know until you post it. So it's like, whatever creative ideas you have, go for it. Like,
Yeah.
brainstorming is the best part about this whole thing. You can spend 50 hours planning, brainstorming, prepping, getting everything ready, and you will have a slew of ideas. And then you can kind of work them down from there. Because sometimes I've been in that boat where it's like, oh, this is a great idea. And then you sleep on it, and then you
Hmm.
wake up the next day, you're like, that's not a great idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes we record not great ideas. Sometimes we're able to filter it out in the early stages. But for now, pretty much until the end of the year, post everything. Post everything.
And